So if you don't want to be old and lonely during the holidays, I'm going to share story time so the young people can understand that when you're in a situation and you value that person and you really like that person, then you need to treat that person good. So back in the 90s and like early 2000s, I was in a relationship with this guy. And I loved him. We were on and off because he was a serial cheater. And then finally, after 6 years of being off and on with him, I broke it off with him because he took me to the strip club, which was pretty normal back in my time or in my community. It was, I don't know what word to use. It was normal. Like it wasn't a big deal. And I would normally go to the strip club with him. But one time we went and he was a little bit too friendly with a stripper. And I was like, oh, he's sleeping with her. So I spazzed out. We got into physical altercation. They separated us. I had to get security. And a couple of days later, he proposed to me. And I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. You just too much. And we broke up. So we didn't see each other for over a decade. He moved on. He's had more children since then. And I think I don't know if he married or I don't know what his life went. But fast track to now, he reached out to me during the pandemic. I was in a long-term relation in between that time too, and then became single. And I was like, why not? This guy gets me. I mean, we're from the same neighborhood. He's around my age. At that point, he was about 50. And I was just like, this might be it. Maybe he's really ready to settle down. So he came in really quickly, love bombed me, wine and dined me. This was during the pandemic. Brooklyn was pretty much shut down. Long Island was open, all the restaurants and stuff. So I loved it. I was like staying at his house and going to all these seafood restaurants because he lived on the water. And everything seemed amazing at the beginning. And we were with each other all the time. And then slowly but surely, he was like, I'm busy, I gotta work, I'm busy, I'm gonna work. And then we went from like seeing each other every other day to like once a week to like once every other week. And then one day I was at his house and I found a nail tip in his bathroom.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. This story is like progressing very fast. Okay, first I want to start off by saying this is an attractive black woman who's over the age of 40, almost 50, and she's talking about the love of her life was a man she was on and off with because he was a serial cheater. And they had a violent event at a club because she thought he was sleeping with the stripper, which, by the way, he brought her to the strip club. So why can't he play with the strippers? Anyway, this is what women in New York are like, okay? I'm from New Jersey, and this doesn't surprise me, okay? We have a bunch of people like this, okay? People that are old flings, old loves. They went, had kids, and then they try to reunite in their 40s and their 50s, and still nonsense is happening. It just goes to show you that once a woman is toxic, she's always toxic. You know what I'm saying? They say this about men all the time. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Once a woman's toxic, she's always toxic.
And when I confronted him on it, he said, that could have been anybody's. I had a party here. You had a party? You didn't invite me? Oh, okay. And there was so many other red flags, and I was done with him. He was like crossed boundaries. He needed too much attention. He needed too much female validation. He wasn't ready. So I was like, that's it. And he would like hunt me down. Because the thing about men like that is they don't want you, A, to end it. B, they want to do whatever they want, but they want to keep you there. Like you're supposed to, you have to tolerate that. I'm older now, so I'm not going to play the back and forth with him like the 90s. I'm pushing 50 myself. There's no way. So I blocked him actually. And he most recently found me. I mean, he would send flowers to my parents' house after I blocked him, and popped up one time at my house. I was like, you can't do it, crying about how, he can't keep a woman. He came to my house crying about how, and I was like, that's all fine and dandy, but that ain't got nothing to do with me. Live your best life. Goodbye. And then recently he reached out to me on Instagram, and I put him on restricted so I could read the messages. He can't tell whether I'm reading it. And he's like, I want you back and all this crazy stuff. And then because I had been ignoring him so much, then he started cursing me out. And eventually he blocked me. And I say this to say, and he looks different, by the way. He's not the hot guy from the pandemic. Like, he's actually aged in the past 3 years because we age. And he's not, he used to be, like, heavily into fitness and look good. But I realized even during the pandemic, he started drinking a lot. And now it's starting to look like he drinks a lot. So he's not this hot, sexy 50-year-old silver fox that he was a couple of years back. He's looking tired. And I think, quite frank, that he's run out of options because he's stuck in his ways and probably nobody wants to deal with him. So he's circling back to the one. I do believe that I was the one. I'm not saying it to say it. I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive that I was the one that got away. But I guess the moral of the story is that when you really like someone, you got to treat them right. And, you have to value that person as a person and don't take them for granted and think that they're never going to go away, because they are going to go away. And as far as myself, I'm single. I don't have a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not crying about being single, because I'm always choose peace first. And that goes with everything, with work, girlfriends, family. I'm always choose peace first. So I'm single by choice. So that's the end of the story. And I guess the moral of the story is that when you have a good situation, then you need to cherish that situation, treat it right, nurture it, and be with that person. You know what I'm saying? But don't expect someone to stand by you when you're not ready and you feel like you still need to be in these streets. And the streets can only last you but so long, because as you get older, things get limited. You're not going to be young and gorgeous forever. And that's my 2 cents of the day. So if you don't want to be old and lonely.
It's funny because I think it's funny that she's giving this message, and I think she's a perfect person for this message, because a lot of women now could relate that this is going to be their future. A lot of the videos I make about women over 35, over 40, they're going to be this, right? Singling back and forth with toxic relationships. And she made a good point. She said she chose peace, and I agree with her. She chose peace. When toxic women are single, that's when they're peaceful. But when they choose relationships, they choose toxic. Okay, so, when they want to get out of that relationship, they choose peace. You see, and this is kind of how it works with toxic women, okay? Where maybe a marriageable, like a really wife, I'm not saying that she's toxic out of relationships, but she's peaceful in relationships, right? Toxic when she's alone and she's not with a man, peaceful when she's with a man, all right? Maybe like the opposite of that. Anyway, one of the things she said I thought was very important was that she said that he's not the same hot guy he was before. Think about that, right? She said he was drinking. Men, if you're over the age of 40, 50, and you're a heavy drinker, and you look yourself in the mirror and you're not happy the way you look, please do yourself a favor. Stop drinking, okay? It's not just the drinking. Really, it's the food. You probably could be drinking and be slim, but alcohol is just a toxin. I know you don't need me to tell you that. That's why you get intoxicated. And it just destroys all your tissues in your body. I had to stop drinking. I had to literally stop drinking myself because I'm a personal trainer. And I don't even drink like that, right? I would just social drink if people were out drinking for a casual event. I would drink, but I wouldn't drink at home. I wouldn't buy alcohol for myself. I wouldn't drink by myself ever, I'm not the kind of dude that sits down, watch TV with a beer. Not me at all. In fact, I don't even watch TV. So none of those things I do together. I'm not a couch potato, okay? I eat potatoes, but I'm not a couch potato. Anyway, my point of saying this is that I had to give up alcohol because I remember one time, I think it was a Mother's Day, like 3 years ago on a Mother's Day, I had one beer and one shot. Literally, that's it. Now, this is how much of a social drink I am. But when I tell you I was sick for the rest of the week, maybe I caught a flu, something, but I was literally sick, I had the fever for the rest of the week, and I had to work as a personal trainer and train people, feeling really sick, and I didn't want to call out. I didn't have runny nose, stuffy nose, anything like that. I just had a fever and chills and cold, so it was awful. But that's why I gave up alcohol. I was oh, never again. I'm not gonna feel like this ever again. But if you really want to drink alcohol, the only way to drink alcohol, you got to drink it regularly so you can build up your tolerance. Because you build up your tolerance by having a lot of the enzymes from the alcohol. And if you think about it, the only good way to drink it is to keep drinking. So it's either you're going to keep drinking or stop drinking. It's on you. You feel me? It's on you. You can't. There's no in between. Okay. There's no spectrum for alcohol. It's either you're a drinker and you got the tolerance, or you have no tolerance. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm saying this because she dumped him because he's no longer attractive anymore. Not because he's no longer toxic anymore, because he's no longer attractive anymore. Men, if you lose your own appearance, you're going to lose women. They'll accept anything. Attraction is the doorway. Women are very shallow these days. So if you're attractive and you make them feel good, he said that he gets her. This is how you can have a long-term relationship with a woman. You know what I'm saying? And when I mean long-term, it's y'all could be in and out of relationships and still bouncing back together. We've seen this happen all the time. A lot of men don't get the experiences. I'll be honest with you. This is something that only top 10% of men get to deal with. If you're dealing with a woman that looks like this in her 30s, she looks good. This lady's almost 50. Jesus, she must have been a dime in her 20s. But look what she did with her life. Look what she did with it. You know, and I think I think she said something that's very well. You got to value people, yo. People don't value people. We value toxicity and fun. These are the type of dudes that women fall in love with, and these are the type of dudes that get TikTok videos made after them. No one's making a TikTok video after a good guy that did the right thing. He showed up on time. You know, he was principled. No one cares about those guys. This is why it's funny. Like, if you want to date women, you have to be toxic. It's the requirement. If you want to date women, no matter how old they are, you have to be toxic. Because if you're going to date a girl in a way where she won't make a TikTok video about you that you probably don't even know about, that's going viral, you're not doing it right. Okay? But look, I don't know. Maybe marriage is going to be in the cards for me, you, any of us someday. I don't know. It just seems hard to know. It just seems hard to think that this is the kind of girl you're going to be marrying if you marry someone your age. And if you go younger, they're the same. Like, they never change. They're all the same. So, I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Channel blowing up. I appreciate you guys. Check out some of my other videos, and I'll see you over there.